Egyptologist or any person who doesn't agree with your theory sat down with you and tried to pick it apart?
I am not a fan of debates myself. I mean, I know it's good theater, and some people are really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you were able to demonstrate that the other week. But I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not sure as far as scientists go, or science, or putting work out there for examination by your peers. I'm not sure that it is helpful to set up a shouting match or
I understand what you're saying. But I'm just interested to see what other people have to think about your...
I'm not sure that I'm a fan of them. I mean, I know it's good theater, and some people are really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you were able to demonstrate that the other week. But I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not sure as far as scientists go, or science, or putting work out there for examination by your peers. I'm not sure that it is helpful to set up a shouting match or
I understand what you're saying. But I'm just interested to see what other people have to think about your theory, because this is really fascinating to me. I'm looking at all this and I'm like, wow, this makes so much more sense than having this thing there as just a tomb for a dead guy. Which there's not a lot of evidence that that's the case, because they've never actually found.
No. I mean, if you ask me, what was it? Oh, Chris, what the hell were you thinking? What were you thinking? I mean, and that is actually a key question, because if you're an examiner, or if you are leading something, or somebody is challenging you, what your state of mind was when something happened, an event happened, what was your state of mind at the time is important. And my state of mind at the time was the tomb theory is a dead theory. I don't accept it. The pyramid, because of its design, its features, its precision, it looked like a machine. Perhaps it's a machine. And if it is a machine, how did the machine happen? So that's basically what my state of mind was. And the evidence that I was looking at was evidence of a level of sophistication and a structure that actually demonstrated the highest level of state-of-the-art that civilization or that culture produced.
Or any culture.
Any culture. And that it hasn't been replicated since.
How is that possible?
How is it possible?
The whole thing is so impossible. Like, if you wanted to have the best evidence that we don't know shit,
you got it right.
You got it right there. It's like, how much do we know about what they knew if they could make that?
Yeah, people ask me, well, why haven't you built a model? Why? And I was like, you don't understand because I couldn't even afford one of the blocks that goes into the King's Chamber, let alone 1,000 of them.
And also, like, how much time would it take you to build that? Good Lord.
Not only that, it's like, if you're gonna replicate. I was asked that question when I was in Egypt in 2021, and I was with Hamada Anwar and Dr. Hadi Bilal, who used to be the Minister of Science and Higher Education. Both extremely good guys, and they are both on the Scan Pyramid mission team. So I had a meeting with them, and I gave my book to Dr. going to recover the third pyramid. We're going to restore it. We're going to recover it. And blah blah blah.
People start
And
freaking out.
yeah, I mean, it was a whole shitstorm that came after that. They finally killed the project.
I saw. Do you think that it's good they killed the project? I mean, isn't it good to leave that stuff in the state in which we found it?
I think, people with the best of intentions and working with the information that they have can make mistakes. And a lot of times, and I've made them myself, a lot of times it's because I'm making decisions not having sufficient information, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like he was the new chief of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, the chairman of the Supreme Council of Antiquities. And so he had a gentleman who was going to help him restore the third pyramid. And so he goes out and calls a press conference, tells everybody what they're going to do, and then there was a firestorm of criticism that came in, just flooded in, and then finally I think it was Zaire told his influence to shut the project down. And then, so they backed up on it. But, if he had touched all the bases, I mean, you just never know, because relationships in any culture, you don't understand. You don't know who knows who's related to who.
Right.
You got all this activity.
But I think people, rightly so, were upset at the idea of covering that thing, just like they covered up the past of the Sphinx.
Well, it wasn't
Very controversial, right?
Not necessarily covering it, but
Restoring it. But you are covering it, right? Because you're doing modern human
You're
tools.
trying,
You're ruining what is left. Because what in the state that it is, it represents the erosion and the earthquakes, the looting of the limestone. This is what it is.
So this is,
But to cover it up with 2024's work seems gross.
Right, and that's what a lot of people think. It is not respecting history.
Right. So if they did that with the Great Pyramid and covered the whole thing,
well,
that would certainly be more possible than building another one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you would certainly.
It's a lot easier.
You wouldn't have to quarry as much limestone.
Not even close. So if they did that, let's just imagine a world where people say, "Hey, we're going to do this, but we could always reverse it. We're not going to do any permanent damage to the pyramid, but it's possible to restore it to the exact state and find out if this theory is correct."
Yeah, but how do you do that? I mean, I don't think you would have to have a lot more research and evidence produced
As to its original state.
To convince people to invest money.
Right.
Because, I mean, this is a process. Okay? The Giza power plant and Giza test connection is a process. Right? And I'm pretty much at the end of that process. So you put it out in the universe, and then other people are picking it up, like Ahmed.
But let's imagine we enter into a world where people say, you know what, it's better if we know, and there's only one way to know, and it's possible to do. So let's cover that thing the way it was done before. Let's put a gold cap on it. Let's follow the plans as if this is a power plant.
Right. Well, first you have to qualify and verify all the systems. It's complicated.
And would you qualify that? Could it be more possible today?
It would be, you'd either be, whoever is in control of it, they try
Right, but let's look at best case scenario. Let's pretend there's some objective scientists that are not hydroelectric musicians at all. They're just supposed to say, we utilize it the exact way we would like it to be.
What I would like is for some PhD to take on the acoustic model of the with all the dynamics, scan everything, find out all the dynamics, what they are, and then you start to simulate the behavior of the movement of sound within it. We're using human instruments to detect the resonance and record on the vibrations and how they feel when they hear it. You know, there's a lot of magical experience. But the magic, you've ever read Huxley Park, it's kind of sufficiently advanced technology and sort of seeing the magic, right? So if you haven't really read sufficiently advanced technology, you would look at it as that. But our cell phones, if they appeared in our culture 100 years ago, that's magic. Yeah. People wouldn't know what to do with it.
And if this culture had something that's not where we are, but 500 years more advanced, which is why they were able to take it.
Right. I mean, look at that. I talk about the recent disclosures on UAP.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that's accurate?
As an example of what is possible physically. Because if you consider that, those UAPs can descend from 80,000 feet at sea level in a few seconds, that the G-forces that they can pull on a 90-degree turn like 1,000 meters destroy any of our craft and the people inside, if it was even possible to make it. We don't have anything to lift it. And then you see how they function, you see what can we observe and how they have to go. An F-16, they've got afterburner. That's the one that go on the fly and melt the back. Those UAVs, they have
Almost less impressive than the cell phone. Right? We're all going in on it, right? The cell phone is sending
Oh, that really oh, except all the mothership. It's all science fiction.
I really wonder
I'd like to see I'd like to observe the civilization go into manufacturing. Hey, how are you making it? And say, okay, where you get the car from? I don't see any train cars carrying coal out in the distance.
well, if there's a time machine, if there was ever a time machine, I've always
Oh, for sure. For sure.
what are you doing? How are you going to do it? What the hell is going on over here?
Right.
And where did it all go? I mean, I know the burning of the Library of Alexandria, they lost so much.
Right.
You had no idea what was there and what knowledge they had reserved. So now it's all lost. And if you're correct, they really did have some sort of a machine that makes electricity that to this day, I mean, you want renewable electricity? There you go, kids.
Right.
It's right there, and someone did it 4,500 years ago.
Right.
How? What did you guys do? And how are we so much more advanced than all the other humans on Earth? So much more. This right here, it says ancient Egyptian texts indicate that this F sharp was the resident harmonic center of planet Earth.
Yeah, that's what they meant.
F sharp is also, coincidentally, says in question marks, the tuning reference for the sacred flutes of many North American shamans.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. So the F sharp is very important. It's also found in human DNA. And there was a Dr. David Dean who photographed the frequency of the
Here, 60 hertz is just below 18 especially getting
So none of those dogs hear that? Carl hear that?
they're known for hearing higher. I suppose they can probably hear lower too.
What is this, Dad?
But around 2003, I was contacted by a very talented physicist. His name is Dustin Kerr. You can Google Dustin Kerr. He got his PhD at Cornell University, and his actually creating a nano. Yeah, the nano guitar, the string is just about 100 decibels. Well, and you have to have a electron light, and so anyway, he contacted me, and I'm really impressed.
How did you strum that guitar?
With laser light.
Whoa, it's 2 microns? Oh my god, that scale is 2 microns?
Yeah.
Wow, that's bananas.
And so
And so you used a laser to play this guitar?
you would need, yeah, I mean, just a very, very subtle laser which micro beat expand the strings, and you would get, they would vibrate. But you couldn't hear it.
Right.
Well, no way.
Right, but it exists. So the frequency that's in the great chamber is below the threshold for humans to hear.
Yeah. It's
Current.
infrasonic. Yeah.
Right, but if this machine was running, it would probably be a different frequency, right?
All those frequencies we played a part, plus more. Besides his nano guitar, when we were communicating, Dr. Carr did a marvel thing. And guess what? 16 hertz.
Wow. Massive.
So,
Wow, the whole thing is just so crazy.
it blows your mind.
It really does. There's so many questions and so many places to take it to.
Yeah.
The real question is, like, how did they do it? Where did they learn all this stuff from? And did they implement this somewhere else? Is this the only power plant they ever created? The other pyramids, do they have similar functions?
I think that fundamentally, perhaps they get the science of tapping into or harvesting electrons through stimulating movement in the lithium.
if you have
But-
with this
but,
design, what you believe the Great Pyramid, how it was used as a power plant, what do you think is going on with the other two pyramids that are near it?
Same thing, except they have different interior designs. They're all part of the system.
So it's all connected. All
Right.
three of them are connected somehow.
Yeah.
And have you observed similar situations in those smaller pyramids where it seems like they would be utilized in a similar fashion? Is there shafts and
No,
chambers?
I just think, you know, if you are considering it as a project, okay, so you design a project, you propose a project, you gather the resources to complete the project, you describe it to you know, your investors. I mean, ultimately, it's about follow the money. How much is it going to cost, and what's the return on investment? And so you have, okay, I want to build a Great Pyramid, and we're going to have all this, you know, we're going to have all this energy, and I'll build another few pyramids around it. You know, tourist attraction. So,
Right.
no, I mean, if you've got the whole plateau, the lithosphere beneath it. I mean, Freud said the lithosphere is actually a giant bag. Sun right? Right. And so if you've got that condition, all that potential energy, all you got to do is shake it a little bit, you know, and then send you a few more electrons, and you build a system on the sun. Perhaps you survey the area just like a master satellite surveys the area for freedom of flying, and you build a whole generator on the Giza plateau, and you start that system out and you survey the area and you look for the hotspots where the maximum number of electrons are coming through from the lithosphere. And then you say, okay, we'll build a pyramid there, build one there, build one there, those are your hotspots. You know, you got a hotspot in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Marfa, Texas.
What is it?
It's a town that you
Oh, no, I know Marfa, but how's it a hotspot?
Marfa Lights are good. Yeah, pull up the Marfa Lights.
Is it like wall light?
No, it's kind of like a light show.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what's
it's
it
very
from?
famous.
And it's from the
Not
electrons?
famous. Austin.
Well, I know Marfa. I have a friend who has a house in Marfa.
Really?
Yeah, he loves it there. So it's like a kind of an artist community, right?
Probably the energy's right.
Mm-hmm. Like Sedona, right?
Yeah,
That's where all the weirdos go.
Yeah, I'm one of those weirdos. I can't afford to live there.
Oh, it's a gorgeous place. Sedona's gorgeous.
gorgeous.
So what is this?
Interview, I think, imagining what they're trying to say here with
So these lights, what's going on with these lights?
What is this?
It's a
Marfa lights?
Interview on the Marfa lights.
Oh, okay.
I don't know exactly.
So when you see those things flying around the sky, what are they? Is that like ball lightning?
Yeah, I mean, it's the electrons going from the Earth and ionizing the air.
It says, according to Judith Ruesk, the Marfa lights of West Texas have been called many names over the years, such as ghost lights, weird lights, strange lights, car lights, mystery lights, or donkey lights. My favorite place from which to view the lights is a widened shoulder on Highway 98 about 9 miles east of Marfa. The lights are most often reported at distant spots, bright multiple from branch lights on both headlights and so primarily depending on whether have that movement. So things fly around. First historical record of the Marfa lights created in Alman, when you took a break, that there was some evidence that you knew about this Dibble Hancock debate that's come to light?
Oh, yeah, that was interesting. A fellow researcher, Manu Secretary, under the state, he had posted on Facebook a paper that had been published, and I think the discussion was the existence of industrial activity in storage devices.
Right.
And so, I talked to him, and he sent me several papers where other studies have been done, that show the same kind of market that you see in that period of time in the paper that he presented on the document. So, everybody should have a chance to make their mistakes, right? But they are, did you pull them up, Jamie? Just go. Then they will be on record.
Okay, so what is wrong? So what you're saying is that, what he was saying is that the evidence of industrialization only occurs after a specific time in core samples.
Right, that they weren't, there's no evidence of them in the ice.
And is this lead? What is it in?
Right. I mean, this is out of my wheelhouse. So
Right.
I'm not an expert.
But this gentleman posted this in response.
I'm just saying that if there is, another body of evidence or other papers that have been conducted, that where research has been conducted that go further back into the period of time that Dibble's paper deals with, then they should be introduced into the correct world.
And how far in the past did these go?
150,000.
And how far in the past did the ones that did let you just
I
go?
think it's about between 12,000 BC. It's just like
A narrow window. Okay. So, did you find it, Jamie?
Well, this paper, the paper that you referenced is this one.
The one that you brought?
Yeah.
Well, I have to send it.
That's not the one that he. There's the 2000. I think it was the 2000.
Atmospheric lead and Antarctic ice during the wax climatic cycle.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, that's one of them. I don't think it's the one that did it.
But what are the one that you're presenting? The one that you.
The one that Manu sent me. Let's see what she found. See that one? I think it's on there. Oh, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. I think that. What date is on there? 20. Yeah, I think it's 20.
Okay.
Right.
So the title of this is, for anybody who wants to find it, is Lead Pollution Recorded in Greenland Ice Indicates European Emissions Tracked Plagues, Wars, and Imperial Expansion During Antiquity.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So if you look up the other papers, they treat a different period of time. And when you go back to the Ice Age, it's like that the same kind of evidence.
Is that what this paper showed?
This is.
This is the one we were just looking at.
Oh no, this is that short time period.
So this is
1100 BC to 800.
This is the one that Dibble presented then.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the one that you're presenting?
I'm not presenting.
Okay, but what was the one that you're
the ones
referencing?
that were sent to me.
Okay, where are those?
They're in the folder.
Okay. And what is that one called?
Okay, go down to the next one. Yeah, I think they're all kind of similar.
the first two, you sent me 5 things. The first two, it's just
Oh, actually, yeah, okay.
Okay, let's go to that and make it a little bigger.
I sent them to you. They're on there. As they were sent to me.
It's very low during the Holocene era, probably during the last interglacial or part of the last ice age.
They were very high during the last glacial maximum and at the end of the penultimate one that were
I love that word, don't you?
It's great work. So the concentrations were high of lead during the ice age itself.
Yeah.
So this does counter what you're saying.
Me too.
Okay.
But I'm not the expert. I mean,
I understand what you're saying. But this goes far back, but past when he was talking about. So the possibility could be that what Graham was saying might actually have some weight to it, that there was a highly advanced civilization before the Ice Age, and that it went away, and then when you see lead in the future, you're just seeing sort of a re-understanding of this process.
that's one way to put it.
It could be.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a really highly advanced civilization like ours. It
Right.
just means that there is industrial activity, whatever that shape or form might take.
Well, the real fascinating thing is if the Egyptians had figured out how to generate power without any damage to the environment. Which is really wild.
We haven't yet.
No, but if they figured that out with that Great Pyramid, if that process is how they generated electricity, I mean, that's about as green as you're ever going to get.
Mhm.
I mean, pretty amazing.
Yeah. There's a little factoid for you.
But
You know, in 2021, they quarried enough coal by weight to build a pyramid 76 times bigger than the Great Pyramid.
well,
So, we know how to extract rock,
yeah,
right?
that collectively, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in China, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Very efficient.
They're not just that; they're really good at making coal plants. They got hundreds of new ones opening up.
Yeah.
Well, we're over there freaking out. Anything else before we get out of here, Jimmy? You said that there was a couple other slides you thought were really interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was one other thing I was wondering.
Okay.
If you please. So, the other thing that Dr. Dibble mentioned was when you raised the question about the water. Right. And Dr. Dibble said that, well, that's been wrong. I'm just paraphrasing now. That's been wrong. And he referenced two sources. He referenced scientific information and Goldman Okay. So, scientific, this is where, if you don't give enough information, people will fill in the gaps,
Right.
You leave a backpack. Engineers are very well known for all kinds of things. They don't explain everything completely because they assume everybody knows because they know it.
Right.
And so it's the simplest thing. And basically, scientists against Smith, they sent me their paper on the methods that they used, which contradicted my method. And what they did is they got these photographs, 2-dimensional photographs of the piece of core, and they rejected the method that I used, which was just a simple string of copper thread. With magnetism and with the artifacts, we got best evidence again, evidence secondhand. So what's wrong? What is the problem? And when I saw what method they used, I didn't take it seriously. I was fascinated talking to them. But I did take it seriously. It kind of failed on its face. Just great manufacturing and they know how to tackle them, and they know how to our customers never accept a 2D photograph as evidence I mean, a 3D camera with so what happens? What happens to you have corruption. What happens to the photograph. That's that. And then I brought it into my computer, but there are some things that happen to the arc length. The arc length of the original. If you take a 2D photograph, you are using the forward length of the arc.
You got all that on camera? You did on both cameras? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Well, there's another problem with it, and it's not just geometric. Well, ultimately, it's more involved with how the eyes are. And basically what you're doing is you're capturing an image, and with a cone, you focus your camera here, right? The lines here, turn that way. The lines down here, turn this way. So you take those and you lay them out flat, you go together. You project those images onto the cone computer, and this is what
Which indicates that.
No, it doesn't. This is not to prove that it's fine. This is to prove that the evidence that they are used is not fake.
Right, because to really get to refute your evidence, they should look at the thing, measure it,
Right.
accurately scan it.
But it also describes the state of mind of the investigators who are working. And that is, they are driving to a conclusion that is directly opposite. So they're not actually taking anything. If you read a scientific paper, or if you are working on a scientific project, if you're in school or anywhere, and so you prepare your report, publish your report, you describe the methods that you use, and the tools that you use, how you did it, and then you publish your results. I did that. And then somebody comes along behind you, and they say, well, I want to see that for myself. That's what you call falsification process, where science and theory has to be
got him a part of the system, not a part of the academic system.
Yeah.
And so he just,
Yeah.
and he obviously he works with seeds and things like this. So that's his area of archaeology. So he trusts the other.
Yeah, yeah.
experts.
You know, I'm not saying, but I'm not saying that what he said is his own, you know.
Right. You're just saying that
invention.
the sources are very
I'm just
biased.
saying that. I mean, he was certainly well schooled and he had the answers to some of these mysteries, right? And he had been given information, and pretty much he wheeled it out when the question was raised.
The other thing that I thought of after the fact, and we actually kind of covered it, but I never connected the dots, was that one of the things that we were talking about when we were talking about Göbekli Tepe. That Göbekli Tepe was created by these people that didn't need agriculture because the place they lived was so bountiful.
Yeah.
But what if they just didn't? What if agriculture to them wasn't plants? What if agriculture was animal agriculture and they fed their animals with wild plants? If the wild plants were in such abundance that they could just go out and chop down the wild plants and use them to feed their animals, that's still agriculture, but it's not plant agriculture.
Yeah,
Right? So that's the difference. I forgot that while it was happening, and then afterwards, like, why didn't I connect those dots? Because Göbekli Tepe, no one is disputing the time period of it. It's 11,000 years ago, right? That's when it was covered intentionally, 11,000 years ago. So no one's disputing that, but that puts it into the term of pre-agriculture. And so what he was saying was that maybe where they lived was so bountiful with food that they didn't need agriculture at the time.
Right.
Possible. But also, are we only thinking of agriculture as plant agriculture? And do we have to grow plants in an agricultural setting to feed animals? Well, doesn't that entirely depend on how we're raising these animals? Because if these animals are free-ranging, and you have an enormous area, then no.
Right.
Then you could harvest them out free-ranging. You could have agriculture in terms of animals, and you could have these animals that you're farming. You're just farming them with wild plants, and if you can do that for Göbekli Tepe, which is what they're saying, and at least they're saying that either they just hunted all the animals that were around there. There was so many animals around them, they could hunt them very easily to feed everybody, so they'd have enough resources to build this thing. Or maybe they had some kind of agriculture in terms of animal agriculture, but just hadn't planted things.
Yeah.
Or hadn't had the need to plant things if they're living in such abundance.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, though.
It is a good question.
Yeah.
All of it is good questions.
All these good questions.
Yes.
Citizens coming forward and raising their hands and saying, "Oh, wait a minute. What about this? What about this?"
And that's what you've done. And listen, I think you've done an amazing job of it. The way you explained it today, I really appreciate it. It's great for a person like myself to be able to ask a person like you questions, get to the heart of how this whole thing would work. And I think you laid it out amazing. Such a fascinating subject, and so many mysteries and so many questions. And I just want to thank you for putting in so much time and having so much energy of your life dedicated to trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah. Right. Can I go take a nap?
Yes, you can go take a nap. You did great. Tell everybody about your books, though, so they
right.
can get them.
So anyway, yeah, we've
The
got
first one was
the Giza power plant,
okay,
technologies of ancient Egypt,
and then the newest one is what does it say on that one?
Giza, the Tesla.
Can they see it from there? Yeah. Okay. Cool. These are the Tesla connection.
Yeah.
Okay. And those are available now. Thank you.
Acoustical science and how this thing is made.
Well, thank you, sir. I really appreciate you coming here. I really enjoyed it, and you're doing a great service.
You should give those to Elon.
Why you need them?
Well, if he's going to build electric cars, he's going to need electricity for them.
All right, I love them. All right, thank you.
short of your regular crew, am I in the
Yeah, you're
Hall of Fame?
There's very few people who've had 10 episodes. It's a small handful, for sure.
I mean, that, I should put that as the top thing on my CV. All the other stuff is bullshit. 10th time on Joe Rogan, drop the mic.
This is how out of the corporate world I am. I don't even know what a CV is. I don't know what it stands for. I know people say it. I know what it means. But I don't know what it stands for.
Want me to tell you what an academic CV looks like?
Sure. What does it stand for? What's CV?
Curriculum vitae.
Ah, okay.
You basically in academia, you start with your education, degrees, all the positions that you held, assistant professor here, then all journal publications, your books, conference work, and so on.
Right.
So it can end up being a pretty beefy CV. Mine's about 47 pages long.
Oh my goodness. Look at you, you accomplished
Speaking
academic.
of
and managed to stay logical. How did you do that?
dropping on May 14th on happiness.
The sad truth, 2 A's about happiness, 8 secrets.
Enjoy it. How have I been so productive?
How have you managed to? I mean, people have gotten annoyed at you, but you've somehow or another avoided like a full-scale cancellation.
Well,
With your positions, it's kind of amazing.
it